Welcome, everyone. Today, we're exploring how food shaped humanity. We'll journey from our ancestors' first discovery of fire to the complex global systems of today. Food is more than just fuel. It's a reflection of our culture, technology, and survival. Let's look at how the simple act of eating transformed us from wandering foragers into a global civilization. Humans are biological generalists. We have a heterodontitian, sharp incisors and canines for tearing proteins, paired with flat molars for grinding tough plant fibers. Humans produce amylase in our saliva, which allows us to start breaking down complex starches. Our mid-length digestive tract allows us to process both meat and vegetation efficiently. This metabolic flexibility was our greatest survival strategy, extracting energy from almost any available food source. Before farming, humans were opportunistic hunter-gatherers. Our diet was dictated by the seasons and geography. Because we were not specialized like a cow or a lion, we could survive in various climates. This nomadic lifestyle defined our biological needs, requiring a wide variety of nutrients gathered from fruits, insects, and lean wild game. We were the ultimate survivors. The discovery of fire changed everything. Cooking made food safer and easier to digest, unlocking more calories. This pre-digestion allowed our ancestors to develop smaller guts and larger, more energy-hungry brains. Fire also brought people together around a hearth, sparking the first social structures. It was our first great culinary technology, bridging the gap between our wild biology and our civilized future. Around 10,000 years ago, humans began domesticating plants and animals. We shifted from finding food to making it. This transition in the Fertile Crescent led to permanent settlements and food surpluses. For the first time, not everyone had to be a food producer. This specialization laid the groundwork for cities, writing, and the birth of organized society as we know it today. In ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, grain was king. Bread provided the daily calories, while beer was a safe, nutrient-rich way to consume water. Interestingly, beer was often used as a form of currency for laborers. These staples represent the early mastery of fermentation and processing, turning raw grains into storable, portable, and social products that fueled the growth of the first great empires. During the Middle Ages, spices like pepper, cinnamon, and cloves were as valuable as gold. The quest for these flavors drove global exploration. These routes connected the East and West, facilitating the exchange of not just seasonings, but ideas and technologies. The desire for a better-tasting meal literally mapped the world and sparked the age of discovery and global maritime trade. After 1492, the world's diet changed forever. The Columbian Exchange moved crops between the Americas and the rest of the world. Imagine Italy without tomatoes, or Ireland without potatoes. All these were New World crops. This massive biological swap increased global calorie intake, but also brought invasive species and reshaped global demographics and agricultural economies in ways we still see in our grocery stores. The 19th century brought mechanization to the farm. Inventions like the steel plow and the reaper meant fewer people could produce more food. This era also saw the birth of food science. As people moved to cities, the distance between the farm and the table grew, necessitating new ways to transport and preserve food on a massive, industrial scale for an urbanizing world. Before refrigeration, we relied on salt and smoke. The invention of canning in the early 1800s revolutionized food safety. Later, the advent of the cold chain and domestic refrigerators allowed fresh produce and meat to be stored for weeks. These technologies decoupled eating from the immediate harvest, changing the domestic kitchen and our shopping habits from a daily to a weekly chore. Post-World War II prosperity and the rise of car culture birthed the fast food industry. Efficiency and speed became the new culinary priorities. Ray Kroc's McDonald's model turned the kitchen into an assembly line. While providing affordable, quick meals, this shift also began the trend toward highly processed diets and the globalization of American eating habits across the entire planet, for better or worse. In the mid-20th century, Nobel Prize winner Norman Borlaug led the Green Revolution. By developing high-yield crops and using synthetic fertilizers, global food production skyrocketed. This prevented widespread famine in developing nations, but also introduced environmental concerns. It was a period where science took center stage in the fight against global hunger, prioritizing quantity and yield to support a rapidly expanding human population. The 1950s saw the kitchen merge with the living room. The TV dinner symbolized the ultimate convenience, reflecting the changing roles of women in the workforce and the dominance of television. Food became productized, with heavy emphasis on packaging and branding. This era marked the peak of better living through chemistry, where processed and instant foods were seen as futuristic and sophisticated. Today, our grocery stores are seasonal anomalies. We can buy strawberries in winter and sushi in suburban malls. Air freight and global logistics mean the world's flavors are available at our fingertips. This globalization has democratized diverse cuisines, but has also led to a loss of local food traditions and a significant carbon footprint associated with food miles and international shipping routes. As food became cheaper, we saw a rise in ultra-processed products. High fructose corn syrup and hidden fats became staples of the modern diet. This shift has led to a global increase in lifestyle-related diseases like obesity and diabetes. We are currently grappling with the paradox of being overfed but undernourished, leading to a modern reevaluation of nutritional science and dietary guidelines. In reaction to industrial farming, the late 20th century saw a return to natural roots. The organic movement prioritizes soil health, biodiversity, and the absence of synthetic chemicals. It's a shift toward transparency and knowing where our food comes from. What started as a niche counterculture has now become a multi-billion-dollar mainstream industry driven by health-conscious consumers and environmental ethics. Biotechnology allows us to edit the genetic code of our food. GMOs can be engineered for pest resistance, drought tolerance, or enhanced nutrition. While they offer solutions for a growing population and a changing climate, they remain a point of intense public debate regarding safety, corporate control of seeds, and long-term ecological impacts on our planet's biodiversity and the future of farming. Are we truly entering a promising era of cellular agriculture, or is lab-grown meat's hype overstated? Scientists claim to produce real meat without slaughter, promising to cut livestock's greenhouse gas impact while meeting protein demand. Yet, challenges persist: scalability, high costs, and studies showing current methods may have a carbon footprint 25 times higher than beef. Does this highly processed product truly qualify as natural food or introduce unforeseen risks? As global protein demand rises, alternative sources offer sustainable options beyond traditional meat. Plant-based proteins from peas, chickpeas, lentils, and soy dominate, providing lower environmental impacts like reduced greenhouse gases and land use. Emerging choices include mycoprotein from fungi, insect proteins, seaweed, and hybrid blends. While lab-grown meat advances, current methods face high energy costs and scalability issues, potentially limiting near-term benefits. As we run out of arable land, we are looking upward. Vertical farming uses LED lights and hydroponics to grow food in city skyscrapers. This reduces water use by up to 95% and eliminates transport costs. By bringing the farm to the city, we can provide fresh produce year-round, regardless of weather, making our urban food systems more resilient and sustainable. From our biological roots as omnivores to the labs of the future, food remains the ultimate human story. As we face a population of 10 billion, our challenge is to balance technology with tradition. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.